Some of the changes around immigration contained in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, around immigration enforcement. This is probably one of the most dramatic institutional shifts when it comes to immigration that is contained in this. For all of the talk about cuts and efficiency and bringing down budgets, this program essentially cuts billions and billions and billions of dollars from our healthcare system and our food assistance system, and it plows it into dramatically expanding immigration enforcement. And by immigration enforcement, I do not mean that they are expanding visa processing. They are not expanding helping people come the right way. They are not making investments in expanding the legal pathways. They are expanding ICE to a level that is unseen and unheard of in American history. They're not expanding it by 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. They are exploding the infrastructure of ICE, which is acting extrajudicially and is not held accountable, and is not accountable to the same rigorous standards of any other law enforcement agency. So that includes $170 billion immediately to ICE. And they're cutting nearly $1 trillion from our healthcare system, and they're putting $170 billion immediately into ICE, $30 billion to recruit 10,000 more deportation officers, and $45 billion for detention expansion. And by detention expansion, I want people to hear for-profit prisons, for-profit detention centers. This is going to publicly traded companies that construct and build and profit off of immigration detention. So we're not even using public facilities for this. This is a dramatic expansion of private companies that will be holding immigrants, often, as we have seen, many incidents that are in violation of civil rights and laws that we have on the books. In addition to that, not only is this administration expanding that enforcement and making it harder to come here legally, they are also jacking up the filing fees to make it even harder to come the right way. They are punishing in implementing taxes, essentially a penalty through increased filing fees for people who are trying to do their best to be documented and remain documented. So if you have an asylum application, they are now asking for $100 upfront and $100 per year that your application is pending. And if you have an asylum application, you know that they can go on for many years. TPS registration, they are now increasing that fee waiver, that fee from $50 to apply for TPS to $500 to apply for TPS. And please understand that asylum and TPS applications are specifically for families and people who are already escaping the most dire circumstances in the world, from Ukraine to Ecuador to places experiencing unspeakable hardship. This administration is now jacking up those filing fees. The motion to reopen a case is increasing from $145 maximum to over $1,000. And we are also, they are also charging a filing fee for an initial work permit based on those prior applications to $550. Imagine that you come to this country and you are trying to legally work. So you don't have a job. You are trying to participate in our economy, which has a lot of need. And you are trying to contribute, and they're going to charge you to try to have a job, on top of all of those other filing fees that we just mentioned. So that's what they're doing. But what can you do to prepare? If you are concerned about your documentation status, I cannot stress enough, please proactively find and retain legal help. Once you are detained, if you do not have a lawyer that you have connected with, if you end up for any reason being detained and you don't already have a lawyer, it is extremely difficult in our system, which does not extend the same legal protections as if you are if you are jailed by non-immigration court or non-immigration facilities where you have certain legal rights. If you are detained in this situation, you must please have a lawyer prior to that detention who can advocate on your behalf from the outside. Outside of that, it is very, very challenging. I would also ask, I have a QR code here. Please fill out a privacy release ahead of any ICE check-ins with my office. Now, this form is labeled as a DHS privacy release waiver, but this form is held by me. When you turn in this form, I keep it, my office keeps it. This form is only used if you are detained. It allows me and it allows my office to contact DHS on your or your family's behalf because you have given me the permission to do so. This paper is you giving me, as your congresswoman, permission to engage in your case on your behalf because you are allowing a privacy release to me. And so we take our responsibility around confidentiality very seriously. But similarly, if we do not have this privacy release before any incident where you may be detained, I am not allowed to intervene on your behalf. So if you have an ICE check-in coming up, please submit this form to my office. If anything happens, you, your loved ones, etc., may be able to reach out to my office and we can explore and examine what is happening in your case. So that is a step that I implore you all to take today. Now we're moving